Okay, so I went out for a mental health walk and I got to Waitrose. I thought, why not have a look at their plants since I'm waiting for my plant to come. And they normally have like really sick looking plants. And I rescued some Calathea last year, if you remember. And actually, like, a bunch of them did die, but the ones that are surviving, one in particular, is thriving. So I'm really happy. And I was about to leave because there wasn't really anything that took my fancy. I didn't want to buy a full price plant. And then this is about to go. I saw this, like, literally behind something at the counter, and it was, like, completely hidden. I was like, that looks like a philodendron. And I thought it looked like a philodendron red sun, which is like the Prince Orange, where it, like, grows like a red leaf instead of an orange leaf, and then that turns green. And I looked at it and I looked at it in such a bad way, and I really related to this plant. It looked like how I feel, like unloved and neglected. So I thought, why not bring it home? It was £10, but it was like $3.79. We couldn't figure out what it was. We tried peeling the label off and everything. This is greenery on wood stand. So yeah, it came in this really nice stand as well. So pretty. But then I just took the plant pot out so I can repot it. Oh, so flimsy. And I saw on here, it says, be careful of this plant. Philodendron, I was right. I think it's a red sun, but I'm not completely sure, but I was definitely right, it is a philodendron. I'm hoping I can save it because it's really pretty. It's just really not very happy and in a bad way. So I'm going to repot it, tidy it up a little bit and see if I can help it flourish. It will feel good. So this is its root ball. It's a bit of a mess because it had one of those little bits. They have them in the nursery pots and they don't change them out of it, and then they put them in bigger pots. So it had like 2 lots of roots. It's got like a skirt. It's kind of funny. But I think what's happened to it is at some point it dried out, probably during the heat wave, and then it got overwatered. But it doesn't look like there's any like mad rot in here. Some of the roots are a bit fuzzy, but I think they're all okay. But I'm going to repot it with some of its old soil and then some new soil, because like I found out that like my plants at least seem to like being repotted with some of their old soil. I guess it's what it knows, it's like its old home. But then I put like better substrate in with it, so it's a bit more aerated, because this is gonna rot the plant. So I'm just gonna give it a new lot of soil and then trim it up. Okay, so she's all situated. I was going to cut off some of the leaves what had damage, but then I realized there wouldn't be much green on the plant for like photosynthesis, so I decided to cut off most of the damaged areas so it won't focus on that part of the leaf and just use the healthy bit, and so it can hopefully spend its time actually just recovering the plant and start growing new stuff. So it's all repotted. I don't think I'm going to water it right away because some of the soil that I've put in with it was a bit damp anyway. So I'm just going to like leave it a few days and then just see how she comes along. But she's so pretty. So it's been about 3 or 4 days and I think it's doing all right. This leaf is unfurling a little bit more, and she hasn't wilted or anything. Like, she really is quite happy. Like, me cutting the leaves haven't done it any harm. Like, it's been fine. Yeah, I think she's actually freaking happy. I tell you, I don't know why I'm good at philodendrons, but they seem to like me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a little refresh on some of the plants I bought last year and show you what they look like now, and some of the new plants I have. So first I have this pothos. I'll put little clips in at some point to show you what they looked like before. But these were sent to me by a lady who I ordered this from, a pink butterfly, and I cannot keep them alive, but she sent me a bunch of cuttings and I propagated them, and these are my pothos, and they're just like really happy, like they're doing great. And these are the other cuttings that she gave me. I lost the Tradescantia Silla-Montana, the fairy one. That one went away. I still have this one that has like multiple colors on it and stuff. That one's just got like a really long one, and it's got like a bit here that broke off, and I just stuck it back in the pot. I think there's a little bit more of that somewhere in here. Like, it's quite busy now. I can't remember what these ones, Philodendron scandens, are they? They're doing really well. And there is, most of my Brazil died off, but there is a little Brazil down here, and it is growing. And so I thought I'd lost it, but it's still there. Oh yeah, and there's the other bit of that Tradescantia with the 3 colours. That's another bit that's growing off to the side. So yeah, They're the propagations from last year. They've done really, really well. Now I remember the Calathea that I brought home from Waitrose last year. I just got 2 new Calathea from Waitrose. These 2 are dying. Like, they are bone dry. This one's like, it's really sad. And then this one that Rue's got is also bone dry. Let's have a look, Rue.
Yeah.
And then they stabbed it through 2 leaves. Like, what is up?
Actually, it's 3 leaves. This dead one has been stabbed.
As well. I found 2 different kinds that were in a really bad way, and I separated them into, I think, 4 other pots. I put one in the bathroom which died, and I gave one to one of my kids that died. And so I have this one left, and like, it's not growing, but it's happy. It stayed alive all year pretty much with just the one. It's got crunchy noise in there. It's just stayed alive, and it's been quite happy just being its own solitary little leaf. The other one, if you remember, this one had a big chunk out the top. It's really doing really well. It's constantly putting out new leaves for me at the moment. It's been really good, and they aren't much trouble for me. Like, when I first started getting Calathea, I was worried because people were like, oh, they're a bit moody. But honestly, these guys are so well behaved. So they're like no problem whatsoever. They're just great. And Juliet, the big one that I bought from Patch, she is downstairs. She has had some rough times over this year, to be fair. She has been a bit more of a drama queen. But she's still going. She's fine. So, and then I have this peace lily. Most of my variegated peace lilies did end up passing away. These are all who I have left now. This is a little tiny one. When I went away to LA, a lot of my plants took a heavy hit, so I lost a lot, but I do have this one still, and it seems okay. I need to give it a bit of a tidy up, I think. And that little baby one, although it looks really crap, it has got a brand new leaf just coming through here. See it? There you go. So it's alive, and it's still keeping on pushing. So I have some lithops that are my daughter's lithops from their big pots that they got, and we took these out yesterday and put them in this pot because they're like different stage from the other ones. Here's my lithop, which I don't think is doing very good. And then here's some like succulent propagations. I'm gonna be honest, I've killed pretty much all my succulents and all propagations from them. But this one I had last year, this was sent to me from the same lady who sent me the other props. But everything else in here, I actually brought back from LA, from my little garden in the Airbnb. And so far they're doing okay, but I don't actually hold up much hope because, like I say, I just seem to kill them. Whether I water them or not water them, they die. So I have recently just given these a little bit of water because these look like they were like getting dehydrated. Because by the time I come back from LA, these had all grown so many roots. Like this one in particular, this come from LA. I love this plant, but I really think it's having a hard time. I think it's struggling now. But it had so many freaking roots. Like, I couldn't even get them all under the soil. But I might try and pack some more around it. I don't know. And then there's some more little jelly bean leaves I took from my garden at the Airbnb. Here's my bonsai. I recently gave her a trim and a rewire. I should really take some of the old wire off, but I'm kind of lazy. So yeah, she's doing fine too. Like, the massive surgery did her no harm, because when I trimmed her back, all of this had leaves all over it. Just like a couple of weeks ago, she was covered. So ignore the mess in my garden. And then I've got my variegated string of hearts, which I've just kind of like plaited some wool and then hung it over the top of my blinds, and then hung the wool through this hoop on here, like loads of knots. And I think it's actually liking being right in front of the window here. She's getting kind of long, but she's not bushing out very much. But I want her to kind of, I don't know, I was tempted to let her try and reach these plant pots and then try and propagate her to bush her out a bit more. I don't know. My Frankies, they're doing okay. They had a bit of a moment where they needed water in, and I think I fixed that, but we'll see. And this is my other Frankie. This one's the one that's not doing as well as the one I just showed you, but all of the leaves are quite thin and curling up. But I did just water them like yesterday, because after I watered them a couple of weeks ago, they still seem to be struggling. So I thought maybe needed some more water because they are refusing to chub out. I recently stole this from my neighbour's kid for propagating, but I recently cut, let me turn this off. I recently cut my silver sword because it had grown so tall that it was going past the shelf and growing off the moss pole it had. So I've propagated, well, I'm trying to propagate it. This is the top part, and where it was growing so tall, there was like no leaves on there. So I took some cuttings of the sticks and put them in here. There's also a bit of Tradescantia in here that broke off. And I've got some Alocasia Mellow corms and some Frydek corms. Well, they're not really Frydek because it's not variegated, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I got a Mellow right before I went away to LA, but it died while I was away. So did my Frydek, died, but I've rescued these corms, and some of those Mellow ones are starting to sprout, so that's kind of good. Now, the controversial one is this Prince of Orange, and I say that very loosely because I'm pretty sure it's not a Prince of Orange. When I got it, I wasn't sure because it was all green, and every time I put out a leaf, it was green, but the shop said when they're juvenile, sometimes they don't have the green leaves. But it's now been like 10 months that I've had it, and it is constantly putting out leaves. It grows really well, but not a single one of them had been orange. There was a time when there's like some kind of yellowy bits around the edges, but I think that was just from poor conditions. And it made me think maybe it's starting to do orange leaves, but no. I actually think this is a Philodendron Bell Marks now. I did some like scans on my phone to see if I could identify it. And the leaf shape really does look like the Bell Marks one. So I think that might be what it is. This is a moss pole I made myself. This is the rhizome from my Frydek, which I've cut up into a whole bunch of pieces, and I'm hoping that something sprouts. My Caladium did die back, but then like it came back late in the season. It came back like mid-July, so it's quite small right now. And I've got 2 more little leaves down here, but then it's probably gonna die off again real soon, so better luck next year. I got a little baby Sabrina down here that I took off my main Sabrina plant just the other day because she seems like she was having a bit of a hard time downstairs, but she loves it in the kitchen. I brought her upstairs for a bit and she hated it, so I've put her back in the kitchen, but I took the baby one off and put it around all these other plants for the humidity. But the Sabrina is pretty much the only Alocasia that hasn't died on me. She struggles, but she doesn't die back completely. She always has this one leaf, so she's cool. I got gifted this Birkin the other day, like about a week ago, when I ordered this baby Gloriosum, who is glorious. What else did I order? I swear I ordered something else. Oh yeah, I ordered a second pink princess, which is in here. She is this one with this bit of damaged leaf here. This is another moss pole that I made. This is my original pink princess. I think she's growing a bit, but she's lost some leaves, but she's also got a new leaf coming in here, which is taking forever. And there's another new leaf over here on the new pink princess. This is my rhizome for my Alocasia Mellow. I'm tempted to chop that up as well because the corms, but I don't know. I think I might leave it. And then my Philodendron Black Cardinal, never any issues for me. I think it's lost like 1 or 2 leaves, but it's still got like this lovely big one here. I love the shape of this leaf. I admire this leaf so much. I love this leaf. I just love the shape and how perfect it is. Like, oh, it's like sculpted. Sorry, I just really love that leaf, sorry. But it has got 2 more new leaves coming in, and then this leaf is like only just unfurled. So I had like 3 leaves coming in at once, but it also had a pup with 2 new leaves unfurling as well. So I took that out and put it to the side. This is like its old leaf. I recently got this Philodendron White Knight. It was on sale and it's a large one, so I was like, yes. It's very top heavy and wants to fall over, so I've attached it to this moss pole that I bought for it. But this also had a pup when it came, so because like when I get a new plant, I'm not sure if I'm going to kill it or not. I like to separate any pups and stuff to give me more chances of succeeding with at least one of them. This is quite a decent sized pup too, and it's also got something growing off the side of it. So, oh, and this one you can't see it. You have to I have to put the light on and point to it if I was to show you. But there's like 2 tiny sprouts low down here as well. So that's really cool. But look how big it is. Oh, and there's the rest of the Lithops and my girls. I was watering them for them yesterday. Aggie, my Aglaonema, she suffered during my trip away. Lila, not doing so great. My Haworthia, I don't know, I don't do anything with it. It needs a water, so I should do that. And then I also have this braided Sansevieria, which I also have never watered, and it still seems fine, so I'm not touching it right now. I'm just gonna wait until it starts feeling kind of weird, but it feels really firm. It almost feels like it's fake, but it's not, it's real. Then you have to excuse my bedside table, it's a mess, but here is my Sylvester, my silver sword. Like, it's got the moisture meter in here because I watered it like twice yesterday and it kept going back down to dry, and before I watered that was 4 days I think before then. and it just keeps going to moist and then it'll go down to dry within a few hours. So I don't know why it's drinking so much, but I'm getting kind of scared to water it anymore because I did water it twice yesterday. I used this glass of water here, but like I don't know why it's so thirsty, because it's not putting out any new growth since I cut it. See, there's where I cut it. I should have cut it lower, but Sylvester is a good grower. I freaking love Sylvester, and he just sits by my bedside and he just seems super happy here. I don't dare move him, honestly, because he just has no problem being where he is. And I like looking at him. I like that he grows quickly, so I like him being nearby. But yeah, Jesus, he does like to get tall, but I don't know why he's so thirsty. I don't know what's going on. So here is my very messy window view. You can see my skull with my hearts in there. The ivy kind of looks nice on my window, but I wish I could get rid of it because I'm really worried it's going to bring pests into my plants when I have my windows open. God, it's getting dark in here now. But yeah, this will be the end of this video, but I'll probably come back in a few days because I have got some more plants actually on the way. And also the Ginger Jungle gonna review the photos I sent them of the Prince of Orange / Belle Marx. And I don't know what they're planning on doing if they decide it's not a Prince of Orange. I don't know if they'll send me another one or refund me for that one. Honestly, I think I'd just like another one sent to me because like I've wanted a Prince of Orange obviously for like 10-11 months now and I thought I was raising one and I don't have one still. I have that, I think, Red Sun. Like, let me know if you know what that philodendron is, the mystery one from Waitrose. But yeah, I would really like the Prince of Orange to go with it now. Like, I've wanted Prince of Orange for ages, but now I've got that one as well. I feel like having those two together, maybe in the same pot at some point, would be amazing. But obviously I need to get it bigger, because even if that one was a Prince of Orange, it'd still need to be bigger. But I'm like 99% sure that that one isn't. Oh, and then the pickle plant, that was for Jared. He didn't look after it and it kind of died, and there's a little bit left that had green on it, so I thought I'll try and revive it. But yeah, and that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this little planty update, and I will see you hopefully in a few days. Bye.
Anywhere you go, give it all.